Well, hello everybody. My name is Mr. Fox and Socks, and welcome back to another Minecraft update. That's right. Today, well, yesterday I guess it was. Yesterday was the actual release of the new Minecraft Snapshot 21w13a. And as you can see behind me, this is not what we've been looking for, but it is a very lucky day. It is lucky number 13 because we finally got the goat spawn in here. So as you can see here, it has actually now been implemented into the game. We now have goats. Look how cute they are. They are pretty cute. I do think that definitely brings a new life here. I tried to fly around because it says that goats will spawn in mountains and snowy biomes, snowy mountain biomes and everything else. I have flown around here for probably about 25-30 minutes to a bunch of different areas and have not found them. Although Minecraft, the snapshot does say that they do naturally spawn in, I have not been able to find it. So we do have these spawn eggs right here. All right, now that I've spawned in quite a few of them, maybe we'll actually see some of the really cool jumping and everything else that we've been looking forward to so much over the past year now, after hearing about the launch of what is going to be the... Oh my gosh, do you hear that screaming? The goat screams? Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh, there you go. There we go. We finally got a little jump here. Now with these most recent updates of the goat, they are supposed to be ramming wood and everything else, but even though goats were implemented, it doesn't seem like there's actually going to be too awful much function and everything else that they do other than walking around and jumping. If we look over here at the hitboxes for the new goats, it looks like, I mean, they're just a standard square, standard block, maybe a little bit taller than a normal block. It definitely is. If we look right there, you can actually see the difference there in the hitbox. The head, of course, is completely out of it, but that is what the hitbox is. And did you know that we can actually start breeding these little goats? And we could do that by just feeding them some wheat. And once we do that, we should see a little baby goat. There we go. Little baby goat pops right out, and he's right there. Aren't they adorable? In addition to the wheat, the goats are also a form of milk. So we now have the ability to get milk from these guys. So it's not just cows that we can harvest milk from anymore. Another update to this new snapshot is the fact that wandering traders will now offer like moss blocks. So this is in here. Now we are supposed to get dripstones and everything else from masons. However, that has not been implemented in yet. What we do have is these here. So we do have moss blocks in here, as well as pointed dripstone and the roots. So you'll be able to get 2 roots for an emerald, 2 of the mossy blocks for an emerald, and 2 of the pointed dripstones as well for an emerald. So that is just a couple other updates that we have coming up here with this new snapshot. Also in this new snapshot, you will be able to find moss blocks in shipwrecks now underwater. And also in mine shaft chests, we'll be able to find glowberries. So look at that. That is pretty neat. And you know what? There's an enchanted golden apple. How lucky. In addition to the mineshaft chests, another mineshaft tweak is the increased the max height and length of the pillars and chains. Although I could not find a very good example of that, like with the chains and everything else. You can see over here the pillars, so they did change the max height of it. So now they can kind of fit a little bit better into the terrain and everything else. And since we're down here, we might as well also notice that in the background here is another update. This is the fact that Mojang has actually increased the likelihood of mega caves, which is these here, which I would assume would be like these here, these large cheese caves as well. So yeah, all these and everything else. That is it's looking pretty amazing. I mean, they're doing an amazing job. I am noticing some extra lag and everything else with the size and the rendering of these areas, but I'm assuming that with the development and everything else, that will be updated here in the near future. One of the other updates is the reduction of the likelihood of toothpick pillars, which is tall 1 block thin pillars. So as I'm flying around this cave right here, I don't really see a whole lot. This is a pillar kind of coming down from the ceiling as opposed to going up from the bottom, but other than that, I don't really see any 1 block. So it looks like those have been implemented quite well. And if you guys didn't notice it as I was just flying around, there's actually new formations of these dripstones. There you go. They have now been implemented, and they are now being formed and generated inside of these these caves. I'm sure it's going to be regular caves, like large caves, as well as the mega caves. But yeah, they're starting to look quite nice. But one thing that you should notice about this is not the Dripstone Caves biome. As you can come over here, you can see right there, this is actually an ocean biome. So yeah, this is how these things are going to generate. So you won't just have to go to the specific biome to get all the dripstones. You can actually find them in mega caves all over the place. And usually when you see the tough blocks being formed here, that means that there are geodes nearby, but it looks like these are actually just being blended into the terrain down here with the mega caves. Now, although we don't really see it in this particular cave, it also shows that there's a slightly more probability of getting more iron. In addition, that we will get larger diamond blobs that will form. But yeah, I see one here. I see a couple up here, but I don't really see any larger blobs anywhere. They're just randomly kind of put around. So you know, that's going to make it a little bit more difficult, at least right now, and in this area. In other areas it may have generated, but the particular one that I'm looking at here, I do not see larger blobs of diamonds anywhere. Another awesome update is the fact that axolotls and glow squids now spawn in underwater sources. Although I have been going to as many of these caves as I can, and even having hitboxes shown, I have not been able to find any in the underwater caves. So I'm really not sure if something is bugged out or something like that, but I cannot find them anywhere. Axolotls also now chase after it attacks a squid, glow squid, tropical fish, cod, salmon, pufferfish, drown, guardians, or elder guardians. In addition to the attack of the axolotls, axolotls also now have a 2-minute cooldown after hunting non-hostile targets such as fish or squids. They will prioritize targeting hostile mobs before hunting, so that's also a good thing. That way, they're going to be targeting the particular mobs that we need them to go after, as opposed to going after the passive mobs. So another amazing update and tweak to this particular snapshot is the fact that we finally have light sources. Look at this. These light sources are just an absolute wonder to me. It's great. I remember when these things were first introduced or suggested to be introduced into the bedrock version, and I was hoping that eventually one day we would get them into this. Now, of course, you can't obtain these particular light sources and everything else in a survival mode, but for creators and developers making maps and everything else, this is an amazing feature that will allow you to do just great things for making maps. So these things are toggleable, so they can also be adjusted just by hitting it. So this is a really cool feature. The only way to obtain this light block is to actually do the give command. So you can do the give command, and it's actually just called light. So there we go. We have that right there. So these particular blocks, although you can see them and we can put them in here and we can adjust, and it'll emit the light level determined by the block state by particularly clicking on it and everything. They are only visible and targetable when the item is being held. So if we change our hand, there we go, they start to go away. Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's quite laggy with all the generations and everything else, but when we remove it from our hand, you'll notice that the blocks will go away, kind of like the barrier blocks. And coincidentally, right as I was coming up to the surface, I found a naturally spawned axolotl. Look at that little guy. Oh my gosh, he's just so cute. Look at him. Oh my goodness, those things are adorable. I can't wait to actually get in here, maybe put it on the Arcadia Craft server, to get this new update. I can't wait. This is just going to be awesome. Now, I was trying to show you guys some of the updates here to the freeze, but trying to spawn in a skeleton here to get him to freeze over has caused a few problems. It looks like there are still a few bugs, but you guys know. I mean, come on, it's in development. This is a snapshot. This is not the actual gameplay. That's why they do these snapshots, so we can report these bugs. But anyways, yeah, the freeze time has been decreased to 7 seconds, and hurt frequency has been decreased to 2 seconds. In addition, entities on fire will now melt powdered snow when colliding with them. An increased vertical movement speed within powdered snow as well. Strays, polar bears, and snow golems, as we mentioned in one of the previous snapshots, are now immune to freezing. Also, mobs now shake when they're fully frozen, which is really cool. And I was trying to show you guys, but unfortunately, like, it's not letting me place down a mob at all. Let me try to do, trying to do zombies as well. It's not just that. Like, I can't literally update in any way, fashion or form. They just won't go in there. So, and nothing is underneath it. So it's, they just come out. But anyways, skeletons converting to strays will now require the 7 seconds it takes for an entity to be fully frozen to begin converting, instead of the 30 seconds that it took in previous snapshots. Also, leather horse armor now protects horses. So if a horse has some leather horse armor on, it will not freeze. But if it doesn't, it will freeze and die. Mobs that enjoy heat, blazes, magma cubes, and striders, they will also take an increased freeze damage. And I have seen a little bit of this, and it looks like although it's going to be the same 2-second hurt frequency, and although it will continue like with the other mobs and have a hurt frequency of 2 seconds, they will end up taking double the damage is what the assumption is here. We're not 100% sure just yet, but I'll let you know in a later update. Now, as far as some of the bugs that are fixed in the 21w13a snapshot, that's right, end portals. End portals are now no longer transparent from the bottom. And I'd like to point out here that if you notice, right here, looks like about 1 pixel down is where the portal actually sits. And then down here at the bottom, it looks like it's about at the half slab area. So that's where that is. Now, as far as some of the other bug fixes, killing guardians with lava will now actually give you cooked fish. And polar bears will also drop fish, and of where previously they would drop raw fish, now they'll actually have cooked fish that drops and everything else. So in addition, you'll no longer be kicked from the game when you reach Y levels of 30 million, which I don't know why in the world you would ever want to go that high, but anyways, yeah, we have that set up too. There are a number of bug fixes, and they're going to be down in the description. But until next time, I hope you guys have enjoyed this particular snapshot. I know I have, especially with the goats. But until next time, make sure that you hit that like button, you smack that subscribe button, you ring that bell, and I'll see you all in the next snapshot. Until next time, you let me know what you like best about this snapshot. Stay foxy. Bye.